I think to begin with, and I'm sure everybody also wants to know, what made you stop under that bridge to talk to them, to Bernd and Zoltan, the first time?
So actually, back then I was living near the bridge. So this is like a place where you meet in summer, where you meet people in winter. It's just, this river just flows directly inside the city, and you're going there for walking or make sport or something like that. And there are several bridges in Munich, and under almost every bridge there are living homeless people. And I was always wondering and was thinking, how do they survive? What is their story? But it's not very common to talk to the homeless people. It's just sometimes they are sitting there and begging. These two, they don't beg, but they made these snow sculptures. And this was the first time I had the opportunity, to have a reason to talk to them. So I was just walking up on the bridge and I saw these snow sculptures, and then I thought, okay, now I have to go down there and start conversation. So I started, of course, without camera. I was just interested in these people, and yeah, it's quite difficult. It was difficult for me at the beginning, and then it was like I would like to make a movie about such a topic, but I don't know where it will lead me. At the beginning, I had no idea what would be like. What is this movie about? I just had no idea. So at the beginning, I was just talking to them, and after a while, so I gave them some hamburgers of McDonald's or something that they get used to me, and like we were some friends at the beginning, and then I took my camera with me, and then it was a bit strange because they didn't want to be captured by a camera in the beginning, so I had to make them used to it, and that I'm there, I'm talking to them, and they always like, why do you film us? Because we are not interesting, and I was like, don't mind about that. That's very interesting what you are doing, from in my opinion. Then it was like I just went there for 3-4 months. In the beginning, almost every day, sometimes just for a few hours, and sometimes I were there a whole day. And yeah, then there was suddenly this one sentence of Bernd. He told me that he will move away back to the house of his grandmother. And at this point I knew, okay, this will be the story. Till this point I didn't know what this movie will be about. I didn't know if it will be a movie. I just started to make it, and during the film process it became the story. So I found the story while filming.
So why was it interesting for you? What about it? I mean, there are certain things that I connected with very deeply, but just to first just set the ground about what was it that was interesting for you? Was it where they were living, or was it how they looked at life? Because they are both artists.
Yes,
right?
they are like really like artists, and they were like survival artists in an optimistic way, and this is what interested me so much. It's completely against the cliches we all have, and we have in Germany a lot of cliches that homeless people, it's maybe their own fault because they are taking drugs, because they drink alcohol too much, they have no no education or something like that. And here I found two protagonists which are so smart. Like Bernd, he knows so many. You have this one sequence with these many quotes of philosophers. He's so smart, and he's living his life so optimistical, which is he doesn't smoke, and he don't want to have a girlfriend who's smoking. That's for sure. And I stopped smoking at that time, because if I would have smoked, he wouldn't answer me any question maybe. And he drinks alcohol sometimes, but so we all drink sometimes maybe a beer. So he's completely against the cliché. And Zoltan even more. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink alcohol. He's really tough in doing his art, like the snow sculptures. He's very perfectionizing this kind of things. So this was like so overwhelming for me to find two people like that who are living together under one bridge and like surviving in this kind of way.
I was wondering if filming this changed your relationship with your city, because I mean, this film and other films that, especially Urban Lens, also shows is you often end up asking whose city is it. The fact that they're removed again and again from under the bridge, but yet I felt that there was a lot of tenderness also from the same inhabitants of the city. They had interesting relationships with people who passed them by. Maybe not everyone, maybe. So I just want to know, did it make you and your relationship with Munich different, or?
Yes, because I can see homeless people everywhere. But for me, they are not hidden in anymore. So before, maybe it was like, I was a bit afraid of them. Not afraid, but you just don't talk to them. And this changed. So, of course, I don't give everyone like money, because a lot of homeless people beg in, like here also, I saw it in the street. And you can't give everybody money, but you can say hello, for example. You just can, I don't just go and pass by them. I realize them and I talk to them. And that's an important point for me. So I don't want to ignore these people anymore. Also, I talk a lot about this problem with other people. For example, I have a friend, and she told me, yeah, there are not many homeless people in Munich, right? And I said, yeah, just open your eyes and walk through the city, because she's living like in a big, in a better area. Of course, there are not that many. But if you really open your eyes, then you will find them anywhere.
You know, there was a point in your film where I think Zoltan says that the idea of there's always an idea, that's what it means to be human. Was it Zoltan who says that, or Bhavan who says that?
Zoltan.
It's Zoltan who says that. I thought that was a really remarkable thing to say, because I mean, the one thing that you do see with them is that there is this ingenuity in the way they live life, and an imagination, which is just, it's, of course, it's incredibly brave, but it's also like, it's so inspiring, right? I mean, it's not, everything they do is much harder than anybody who's taken a safer way to live does. But I was wondering if, like, while making that, did you sort of investigate your own ideas of what it means to be human and what we do to find meaning in this very capitalist world, which is actually prescribed one way of life to live? So just...
So, for example, also Bernd says in one point, it's very hard and you can't live there for even one day, but you should try it.
Yeah.
And this is like, making this movie opened my sense for this as well. For example, a lot of people asking me, why do they live on street? Because in Germany you don't have to live on street. If you like to have like a man's shelter room, you will get it. But Bernd lived in a man's shelter, for example, and it's like a shared room where you are living with any random other guys, and there's a lot of trouble in these rooms, and they're stealing their things from each other and something like that. And he just decided, I don't want to get in this capitalism world, I just want to be free. So he quit all these things and he just moved to the bridge, and he has now his own privacy. He has even more privacy under the bridge than in a man's shelter room.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, and for me as well, it's like when I'm traveling right now in India. I were traveling like 10 days before. This night I have to go back to Germany, but I was traveling around a bit in Rajasthan, and you see so much suffering also on street, and that makes me always thinking we can be so honored to have like a secured life in that way we have it in Germany. But sometimes I think it makes the people more rude. I don't know. More they have their own home, they have the insurance, they have everything they need, but the love is missing. I don't know. There's something missing.
Socially speaking, would you say then, the film I was telling Alexander about this film called Cities of Sleep. I'm sure some of you have seen it, which was shot in, so it actually talks about the sleep mafia in Delhi. So here in Delhi, how if you want a bed at night, which is under a roof, you have to pay someone to get it.
Okay.
Since there is no state support for it. So it's sort of like a mafia that works, and the film documents two characters who do that. And one of them does go back home in the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a lot of uncanny parallels to that. But here, I mean, I think the stark difference between your film and this film, and which really talks about the difference in the two worlds, of course, and developed country and developing country, is the element of choice. Right?
Exactly.
So here, Bernd and Zoltan, I mean, that's what's most interesting, that there is a choice here. But what's common between the two films is even the protagonists in Cities of Sleep talk a lot about freedom. And that there is a freedom about being in the street and about making that choice to be in the street.
Yeah. And the thing is also so interesting that it could happen to everybody. This is a point what a lot of people don't think about. So, for example, Bernd just lived the last 3 years on the street, but it had happened to him because of his
of grief.
Like in his whole life was, as he said, like a quote, it was a mess, and yeah, and everything in addition made him to this character he is right now. And he has just enough in this moment right now.
Any last question? Yeah. Yeah.
Hi. I would just like to make one comment here that these two, Zoltan and Ben, they both somewhere down the line realize the absurdity of existence, I guess. The way the last thing that he comes back even after going to the house, it's like it just makes very evident that it's the margins of the city, like under the bridge is somewhere nobody would really think of acknowledging. Who would think about it? No one. So this is where they come to find their utopia. They want to live there because they, I guess, associate with that place. There's like when we go to the college, there's one place that we would sit with our friends, and even after years we would like to be there. So I guess that under the bridge as a space becomes like very important for both of these people. Although Zoltan has left the place, but I'm very sure he'll come back again to find his friend. That's it.
In one way, it also seems like a bit romantical in this movie, because it's really tough to live in winter under the bridge. Of course, Bernd tells it's like a very nice place here, and it's like the Costa Brava in Germany, so like a nice coast in Spain. But it's very hard to live there. But they do the best out of it. Yeah.
There was quite a long shot in that emotional shot in that car. Did you just can you elaborate that? Were you thinking that I have to take that shot?
Sorry.
No. There was a shot that emotional, quite emotional. He was telling about his wife.
Yes.
And did you think that I have to take that particular shot, before shooting that shot?
No, because I didn't. It was not scripted, so I didn't know that it will. It worked good in that. Yes. So it was like that. We drove to Saxonia, so to this village Pasewalk, and I had a GoPro. I had like 3 GoPros in the car, and I was almost filming like the whole drive. It was like 8 hours. We went there, and every time he started talking about a interesting topic, we started to talk together. I started the cameras, and in this moment he forgot the camera. And in the whole progress about over 3-4 months, at the beginning, okay, he was wondering about my camera. It was a small camera. It was a Canon T41, so small, with a camera microphone on top, and he just forget that I'm there with the camera. So as he started to cry in the car, I knew that that'll be in the movie, yes. But I don't want to just show, oh, he's crying. But it's important because it's the moment he just, all the struggle and all his feelings just came out of him. Because this part under the bridge, living on a bridge, he just left, and now the new step in his life will arrive. And he was just, it just came out of him. And yeah, I knew in this moment I will edit it to the movie, yes.
He has a remarkable capacity to be honest, Bernd. I really...
He trusted me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very glad that he trusted me in that way. And we are still like really, we meet each other still, and we are friends right now. And I'm very happy about that, because I also think it's important that you as filmmaker don't just go there, film and go to India and have a good time, you know. No, I have to pay attention for these people, because I'm using them also. But I'm very sure that he's very fine with that, with that film. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
He's very happy also.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.